Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome to the Grow Tent, everybody. You have found the best cannabis growing channel on YouTube, man. The place where we simplify the approach for you so everyone can learn how to grow. We make it so simple, even I can understand. So I'm going to listen and learn right now.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Tent. We got a great episode for you today. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of reflection. A lot of reflection off of the phone here. Maybe let's try a different angle. A little bit down. There we go. Yeah. That's better. Get a better shirt in. Put the shirt in there better, too. We got a great episode for you today. Guys, if you could please remember to like, comment, subscribe, watch the full video. That stuff all helps the channel a ton. And we got some big news coming up about the Patreon, or what we're switching to after the Patreon got deleted back at the end of June. So stay on the look out for that. Ricky GT has made a special video for you guys, and I hope you guys will all enjoy it here. Probably should be popping up in the next week or so-ish, I would imagine. So you might want to be on the lookout for Ricky GT's new video. He's got an interesting new video concept he wanted to come up with to introduce you guys to the new channel, so watch out for that. Yeah, alright guys. So today we're going to be talking about genetics and how even the most expensive genetics on the planet couldn't save bad growing practices. But on the flip side of that, how bad genetics could ruin a great garden. So today we're going to be talking about both sides of that coin. We're going to start off with the pain. I see a lot of new people that go out and they buy really, really expensive genetics thinking it's going to save them and fix all the problems. And what they come to find out is no matter how expensive of the genetics that you bought, the best genetics on the planet cannot overcome bad growing practices. And what I mean by that is pretty much, not having your big three gardening practices down before you start this journey of buying and going out and finding super, super expensive genetics. Now, I'm not saying that good genetics don't have their pluses, because there are a bunch. It's just there's a fine line between good genetics, expensive genetics, and there's a big giant line between those two, and then bad genetics. So no matter how expensive the genetics were, or how ranted and raved they are about, if you take expensive genetics and you don't have your gardening practices on lockdown, they're going to do bad stuff to you. You'll decreased yields, powdery mildew, mold, herming, all that kind of stuff. Those are all any of those kind of stresses that you're introducing into your garden. They all affect your end yield, quality, terpene profiles, herming characteristics. They all play a gigantic part in that. So whenever you are selecting genetics, especially whenever you're brand new to this, I consider brand new people your first 6 grows. So from the time you first start to complete your first grow through 6 grows, if you're in that first 6 grow category, those are still brand new people to me. Maybe the first 4-ish, but if you're in that, if you're in that first 6 grows, I still consider you guys new people. Now, whenever you're going to select genetics, whenever you are a brand new person, I'm telling you right now, the first thing to stay away from is generally just autoflowers. If you're a new person, stay with photoperiods. I'm not saying autoflowers don't have their place, but don't make things harder on yourself whenever you're first starting out. So I would say find a good photoperiod, and then find one that isn't super, super expensive. Find something you like, but you don't have to go out and buy $3, $4, $5,000 packs of this stuff. It's a super expensive proposition for something you're learning on. This would be like if you just got your driver's license or your permit, and you're like, I'm going to go practice in a Ferrari. And it's kind of like the same kind of mentality. Is you're going to bang up your first car. Everybody does. Probably shouldn't do it in the Lamborghini. You know what I mean? You should probably do it in the '87 Honda Accord that your grandma left you or gave you. It's a little bit better of a car to practice on. You know what I mean? I take that same kind of approach to growing. Now, you use the '87 Honda Accord as long as it's not a fiery death trap, bad genetics, that herm all the time because they were made incorrectly or they're made from stress. Instead, but you got an 87 Accord that it drives, it's safe, it gets good gas mileage. You know, it's not expensive. The insurance is cheap. So you get some quality genetics that you like, and they didn't cost you a ton of money, and you can use those. Now, maybe when you get better, I still don't know if I would, even me, I don't know if I'm going to go out and buy a $500 pack of whatever the new hottest strain is if I was just wanting to grow it, because it's a lot of money. Now, on the other hand, bad genetics can ruin a good grow no matter how good your growing practices are. Just like if you have a herm traded seed, I get people that message me all the time like, hey GT, I'm cutting down my plants and I'm noticing my buds are all full of seeds. I wasn't trying to make seeds, but my buds are all filled with them. Those seeds are all trash. You don't grow those out. Whenever a plant is stressed to the point where it herms and then makes seeds on its own like that, the problem that happens, as long as you didn't accidentally I had a male plant in here, I didn't see it for too long and it pollinated everything, you can recognize a male plant pretty easily. As long as it's not something like that and you're like, no, there was no male plants, it's all feminized plants in here and they're all seeded. No matter how good of your growing practices are, all those seeds are now genetically, they carry that herming trait into the seeds. That's why it's extremely important the way you make your seeds, especially if you're doing feminized, doing male-female, not a big deal. It's pretty easy. But if your plant, your all-female garden makes seeds, all the seeds are trash. You got to throw all those away because they all carry the genetic trait to herm. So that's why it's extremely important to know where you're getting your seeds from and make sure they are of quality before you do that. Because no matter how good of a grow you are, they have about a 90 to 95% chance to also take that herming characteristic and start doing that in your garden. You could grow the most perfect garden ever and then still end up with pollen everywhere just because of the way that the seeds were made to begin with. So you can have great genetics with bad gardening practices, bad end result. You could have terrible genetics with great gardening practices, still end up terrible results. So you just have to find that medium, find what you like from someone you trust, and then run with that. The nice part is there's so many channels out there now, mine included. If you ever have any questions or anything like that about your growing practices or kind of want to see how your plants are doing, you can always send me an email right there, and I'll try and help you out the best I can, as always. I had a question about this, and it was somebody it was kind of that same story where they were like, I've got all these seeds, I don't think I'm going to need to buy seeds or anything for a long time. I was like, I hate to break this to you, but all those seeds that you have, they're all going to herm. They are all because you weren't trying to do this. The plant was stressed out because you overwatered it so much that it was going to, all those seeds those are all trash. You get to throw all those away. The problem is that when that happens is all of your garden, it wastes a bunch of your buds because as soon as the plants took pollen, they stopped trying to make bud, and now they concentrate on making the seeds. So that, it sucks all the way around. But guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope everybody has a good week coming up next week, and pay attention to that new Ricky GT video coming out. I'll see you guys next time. GT out.